I knew with this ability I could create great and wondrous inventions, devices to solve all of the world's problems.
Imagine peering into the brilliant mind of Nikola Tesla, one of history's most famous inventors. We all know him for his crazy cool work with electricity and magnets, right? But did you know this genius also had some pretty interesting thoughts about religion? Tesla wasn't just about science, he was also curious about spirituality, especially when it came to Jesus and the Bible. And in this video, we're going to take a dive into Tesla's world and see how his scientific brain mixed with his spiritual side. Get ready for a wild ride. Nikola Tesla, a brilliant mind. Nikola Tesla was one of those truly special people who came along every once in a while. Born on the 10th of July, 1856 in Smiljan, a place that was part of the Austrian Empire back then but is Croatia today, he was a total whiz when it came to inventing stuff. Think of him as a cross between a scientist, an engineer, and a dreamer who was way ahead of his time. Tesla was Serbian by birth but made his home in America. His mind was like a machine that never stopped running. He was curious about everything, from the tiniest bug to the biggest stars. And it all started when he was a kid. His dad was a pretty smart guy too, a priest who loved writing, and his mom was a creative soul who was always tinkering with things around the house. It's no wonder Tesla grew up to be such a creative thinker. After spending some time studying engineering and physics in the 1870s, Tesla decided real-world experience was the way to go. He jumped into the world of telephony and electrical engineering with both feet. But Tesla wasn't just about wires and electricity. Oh no, he was a visionary. He could see a future where the whole world was connected by invisible forces. It was like he had X-ray vision into the future, imagining things like wireless communication, energy that came from the wind and sun, and even technology that would later become radar. Apart from that, he also believed in the metaphysical realm. Metaphysical beliefs and scientific curiosity. Tesla was totally obsessed with energy. It wasn't just about the stuff that lights up your room or makes your fan spin. He was on a crazy quest to understand the unseen forces that make the world tick. Tesla believed that the universe was this epic puzzle, and the missing pieces were these invisible energies. It wasn't just a brain thing for him, he felt it deep in his soul. Science and spirituality weren't enemies in his world, they were like partners solving a mystery together. He thought the laws of physics were actually part of a grand master plan, and by cracking the code, humans could connect with something way bigger than ourselves. This whole vibe made Tesla stand out like a neon sign in a dark room, because most folks back then saw science and religion as oil and water. Tesla's journey into cosmic energy and this weird idea called the ether is like a sci-fi adventure mixed with a spiritual quest. He was totally convinced there was this invisible energy blanket covering the entire universe. It wasn't just a wild guess, it came from his super smart brain and this deep down feeling that everything in the world is connected. For Tesla, the ether wasn't just some made-up concept, it was the backbone of reality. He pictured energy zooming through it like surfers riding waves. This whole idea connected with ancient mystical beliefs about a special life force binding everything together. Tesla was convinced that the ether was the key to unlocking unlimited, free energy. He dreamed of a world powered by this cosmic juice, a world without limits. He spent countless hours experimenting, building crazy machines to capture and harness this ethereal power. Some people thought he was nuts, but Tesla was sure he was onto something huge. He believed that by tapping into the ether, we could heal the planet, end poverty, and even achieve interstellar travel. It was a bold vision, way ahead of its time. Tesla's obsession with the ether led him to some pretty wild ideas, and while not all of them panned out, his exploration of this mysterious force opened up new possibilities for science and spirituality and scientific pursuit. Tesla was totally into this idea that the universe was filled with an invisible, super powerful energy, the ether. He thought it was like the heartbeat of everything, the boss of the cosmic show. It wasn't just about science for him, it was like a spiritual quest to understand this amazing force. Tesla saw connections between this ether energy and all sorts of spiritual beliefs from different cultures. It was like finding a secret code that unlocked deeper meanings. When he looked at religions, Tesla didn't see them as enemies of science. Instead, he thought they were trying to explain the same phenomena in different languages. The ether, in his view, was like the divine essence people talked about in spiritual texts, just described in a scientific way. It was like he was building a bridge between the head and the heart, uniting the logical and the mystical. Tesla had this wild idea that our minds were like little antennas, picking up signals from this vast cosmic energy ocean. Maybe our bursts of creativity and those gut feelings were actually us tapping into something much bigger than ourselves. It was like we were all connected to one giant, awesome thing, a cosmic web that linked everyone and everything. For Tesla, faith wasn't about following a rule book or adhering to dogma. It was about trusting that the universe was a pretty cool place with a hidden order. Studying the ether was like meditation for him, a way to feel closer to this cosmic mystery. He approached science with a sense of wonder and respect, like he was exploring a sacred temple instead of a lab. Nikola Tesla's fascination with the ether wasn't just a passing curiosity, it shaped his entire approach to science and invention. He believed that understanding the ether could lead to breakthroughs in technology and a deeper comprehension of the universe's workings. Tesla's innovative spirit and his blend of scientific inquiry with spiritual exploration made him a unique figure in the history of science. So, what exactly did Tesla think of Jesus and the Bible? Jesus' miracles and scientific interpretation? When Nikola Tesla looked at the Bible, he didn't see fairy tales. He saw potential science experiments waiting to be unraveled. Now, I know this might sound a bit out there, but bear with me for a moment. Tesla thought Jesus was onto something huge. He believed those miracles weren't just magic tricks, but mind-blowing applications of science. He wasn't about debunking faith or anything like that. It was more about finding a link between what we see as supernatural and the natural laws of the universe. Tesla was the ultimate energy guy, right? He spent his life playing with electricity, magnets, and all that invisible stuff. So when he read about Jesus healing people, he didn't think, poof, magic. Instead, he thought, maybe Jesus knew something about energy and vibration that we haven't figured out yet. He imagined Jesus as a super genius who could tweak the body's energy field to fix what was broken. Take walking on water, for example. Tesla thought maybe Jesus had cracked the code on something related to magnetic fields. You know how a magnet can make metal float? Well, Tesla was always tinkering with that kind of stuff. He theorized that Jesus might have understood and utilized magnetic principles in ways we couldn't yet comprehend. And then there's the whole turning water into wine thing. Tesla saw it as an incredible energy transformation trick. He believed that with enough knowledge, you could change one form of energy into another, which was basically what his inventions were all about. It's important to note that Tesla wasn't trying to replace faith with science. He just wanted to show that the two aren't enemies. Maybe, just maybe, the stuff we call miracles is actually the next big breakthrough in science. Tesla's way of thinking was like a door opening to a whole new way of seeing the world, a place where science and spirituality aren't opposites, but partners on a grand adventure. Imagine Tesla in the late 19th and early 20th centuries amidst a time of incredible scientific discovery and innovation. His mind was always racing with ideas, constantly seeking to understand the mysteries of the universe. He was fascinated by the idea that there could be a scientific explanation for what many considered miracles, the teachings of Jesus. Nikola Tesla's fascination with the teachings of Jesus goes beyond mere admiration. Love, kindness, and forgiveness were huge for Tesla. He didn't just think they were good things to do. He thought they were like secret codes to understanding the universe. Resonance was Tesla's magic word. You know how something can start shaking really hard if you keep pushing it at the right speed? That's resonance. Tesla thought love and kindness were like that for people. They made your inner world vibrate in harmony with this super powerful energy that's everywhere. He didn't see the universe as just sitting there doing nothing. He thought it was like a giant listening ear, always paying attention to what we're putting out there. Feeling good vibes was like sending out a positive radio signal that could change the world around you. It wasn't just about feeling happy, It was about healing yourself and feeling connected to everything. Tesla went even bigger. He thought if a bunch of people felt the same good stuff, it would be like a supercharged wave of energy shaking up the whole universe. This sounds crazy, but it's like those ideas about praying together and making big changes happen. Tesla was basically saying science backs up the power of positive vibes. Tesla wasn't just about lights and stuff. He was really into the idea that energy and how things vibrate could heal people. He thought if we could understand and use the energy buzzing around us, we could unlock super cool ways to be healthy and feel amazing. It wasn't just about pills or doctors for Tesla. He was looking at the big picture, you know? Like, our minds and bodies are connected, and feeling good is as important as anything else. This way of thinking lines up with what people are saying today about wellness and happiness, practical insights into energy and consciousness. Tesla didn't just see Jesus as some old dude with good advice. He thought Jesus was onto something really big about energy and how our minds work. He figured Jesus was like a master of vibes, someone who totally understood how good feelings could change your whole world. It's like Tesla was saying, hey, maybe spirituality isn't just about being good, it's about how energy works. This way of thinking is totally mind-blowing because it makes you question everything you thought you knew about religion and science. Tesla didn't buy into the whole religion and science are opposites thing. He thought they were like two pieces of a giant puzzle. He believed the Bible and other religious texts were packed with secret codes about how the world actually works, waiting for smart people to crack them. It wasn't about blind faith for Tesla. He wanted proof and understanding. He looked at the Bible like a super interesting storybook filled with deep meanings about reality. Those old tales people think are just myths. Tesla thought they were hiding amazing secrets about how nature works. Like when you read about the Red Sea parting or feeding thousands of people, he didn't just go, wow, miracle. He was like, I wonder if that was a crazy natural event that people misunderstood. He imagined things like huge waves or weird weather patterns being turned into epic stories back in the day. Tesla's view of religion and science as complementary rather than contradictory was rooted in his belief that both disciplines sought to uncover truths about the universe. He saw science as a tool for empirical investigation and understanding, while religion provided a framework for ethical and moral contemplation. In Tesla's view, the synergy between these two approaches could lead to a more holistic and comprehensive understanding of reality. Tesla wasn't just into the newfangled stuff. He was totally digging into the ancient world, too. He figured that those old, wise civilizations knew a thing or two about numbers, stars, and building stuff. They hid this super smart knowledge in their religious stories and traditions, like secret codes. Tesla was fascinated by this idea and thought it was totally connected to his own crazy experiments with electricity. He believed that by studying the old ways, he could unlock secrets about the universe that no one else could see. It was like he was trying to find the missing puzzle pieces to life's biggest questions by looking both forward and way, way back, creation story and the nature of reality. Now, what did Tesla think about the Bible's description of creation? One thing Tesla was really into was the creation story from the Bible, but don't think he was taking it word for word. He saw it more like a story with a hidden meaning. When the Bible talks about a formless void at the beginning, Tesla likened it to the universe before it got its act together. He didn't see it as mere chaos, though. To him, it was a realm of boundless potential, waiting for the right catalyst. That spark, in Tesla's view, was the laws of the universe, those extraordinary principles that govern everything. Tesla envisioned the world as a colossal, intricate machine. Every element, from the tiniest atom to the grandest galaxy, adhered to these universal laws. And here's the mind-blowing part. Tesla believed these laws were like a secret code, a key to unlocking something far greater than ourselves. He was on a quest to solve the ultimate puzzle, one that intertwined science and spirituality. Tesla wasn't just daydreaming, he was actively exploring these concepts. His experiments with electricity were nothing short of magical demonstrations, showcasing how invisible forces could manifest incredible phenomena. Yet, beneath all the dazzling displays, Tesla was always seeking a deeper understanding. He wanted to find the connection between the human experience and the cosmic dance, that profound link that ties everything together. To give you a bit more context, Nikola Tesla lived during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a time when science and technology were advancing at a rapid pace. Born in 1856, Tesla's groundbreaking work in electromagnetism and wireless communication laid the foundation for many modern technologies. Despite his scientific rigor, Tesla's worldview was deeply influenced by his spiritual beliefs and his quest for knowledge. Tesla's interest in the creation story wasn't merely academic. He saw parallels between the narrative and his own scientific endeavors. The formless void resonated with his understanding of the primordial universe, a state of pure potential before the laws of physics began to shape it. For Tesla, the laws of the universe were akin to divine commandments, guiding the cosmos into order and complexity. His approach to science was holistic. Tesla viewed his inventions and discoveries as stepping stones toward a greater comprehension of the universe. His famous experiments with alternating current, AC electricity, wireless energy transmission, and even his ambitious plans for a worldwide wireless communication system were all driven by his belief in the interconnectedness of all things. One of Tesla's most intriguing concepts was his idea of a world system, a global network for wireless transmission of energy and information. He envisioned a future where power could be transmitted wirelessly across vast distances, providing free and unlimited energy to everyone. This vision was not just a technical challenge, but also a philosophical one. Tesla believed that harnessing the natural forces of the universe and making them accessible to all could bring humanity closer to a harmonious existence. Entropy and thermodynamics. Nikola Tesla's interpretation of the creation story was intriguingly aligned with scientific ideas such as entropy and thermodynamics. He viewed creation as a gradual process where complexity and organization emerge from an initial state of simplicity and disorder, driven by the dynamic interplay of energy and matter. This perspective mirrored the evolution of the cosmos from its primordial beginnings to the formation of intricate systems and structures. Tesla's vision of reality wasn't confined to the physical realm. It extended into the metaphysical and spiritual dimensions. He believed that the universe was imbued with a fundamental harmony and intelligence that guided its development. This cosmic order, he argued, reflected a deeper divine plan underlying all of creation. In Tesla's view, the creation story served as an allegory for how order emerges from chaos, inviting us to look beyond both religious texts and scientific observations. He encouraged us to contemplate the unity and coherence that pervades the universe. His interpretation suggested that what might appear as randomness or disorder on the surface is actually part of a greater purposeful design. Tesla's perspective provided a sense of reassurance and meaning in a world that often seems chaotic and unpredictable. To him, the orderliness of the cosmos was a reflection of divine intelligence and design. This belief implied a profound interconnectedness between the material and spiritual dimensions of reality, suggesting that the universe operates according to a grand, harmonious plan. In essence, Tesla's view was both a scientific and spiritual exploration. He saw the creation story not just as a myth, but as a deep reflection of the natural world's underlying principles. His interpretation urged us to appreciate the inherent order and purposefulness of existence, bridging the gap between empirical science and metaphysical contemplation, natural elements and zero-point energy. Tesla also had a deep connection to nature and believed that there was something spiritual about how everything fits together. He was fascinated by things like the sun, wind, and water. He didn't just see them as useful stuff. He thought that they were like powerful forces of nature. He wanted to find a way to use these forces without messing up the planet. It was like he wanted to dance with nature, not fight it. One of Tesla's biggest ideas was something called zero-point energy. It's a fancy way of saying that there's energy floating around everywhere, even in empty space. Tesla thought this was like a magical, endless supply of power. He imagined a world where everyone had all the energy they needed without polluting or running out. But Tesla wasn't just thinking about practical stuff. He believed that understanding zero-point energy was like unlocking a secret about the universe. It was as if he was trying to connect with something bigger than himself, like tapping into the divine energy that runs everything. Nikola Tesla's belief in zero-point energy was deeply intertwined with his vision of a harmonious and interconnected world. To Tesla, energy wasn't just a physical force, it was a unifying element that transcended boundaries and divisions. He envisioned it as a force that could seamlessly connect the diverse elements of nature and humanity. This view was akin to spiritual concepts of unity and oneness, suggesting that everything in existence is intricately linked by this fundamental energy. Tesla's theories on zero-point energy also reflected his ethical and moral convictions. He saw the potential of this energy source not just as a technological breakthrough, but as a way to address larger environmental and societal issues. For Tesla, harnessing zero-point energy wasn't merely about innovation, it was about responsibility. He believed that tapping into this seemingly limitless source of energy could help mitigate environmental degradation and ensure the well-being of both present and future generations. His vision was not just about scientific advancement, but also about creating a sustainable future. Tesla's interpretation of biblical stories as scientific metaphors offers a fascinating blend of ancient wisdom and modern inquiry. By viewing these narratives through the lens of metaphorical symbolism, Tesla revealed hidden layers of meaning that resonated with his understanding of natural phenomena and human ingenuity. He saw biblical stories not just as religious texts, but as profound reflections of universal principles that could be explored through both science and spirituality. Noah's Ark as a technological allegory. One of the biblical stories that Tesla interpreted metaphorically was the tale of Noah's Ark. Nikola Tesla's interpretation of the biblical story of Noah's Ark offers a fascinating example of how he viewed ancient narratives through a scientific lens. Instead of taking the story as a literal account of a global flood and an ark that miraculously saved pairs of every animal, Tesla saw it as a metaphor for an ancient civilization's advanced knowledge and technological prowess. To him, the Ark represented a sophisticated vessel designed by a people with cutting-edge skills in navigation, hydrodynamics, and engineering. In Tesla's view, the tale of Noah's Ark wasn't just a fantastical myth, but a symbol of human resilience and adaptability. He believed that the civilization depicted in the Bible had an exceptional grasp of natural forces and environmental challenges, enabling them to survive and navigate through catastrophic events like floods. This interpretation highlighted the idea that ancient peoples had significant, perhaps forgotten technological and scientific insights. Tesla's approach to biblical stories didn't stop with Noah's Ark. He extended this metaphorical interpretation to other well-known narratives. For instance, he speculated that the parting of the Red Sea, the plagues of Egypt, and the crossing of the Jordan River were symbolic of natural phenomena and human achievements. According to Tesla, these stories reflected ancient knowledge and wisdom that went beyond simple mythological explanations. Tesla's method of interpreting these biblical tales as scientific metaphors was grounded in his belief that ancient civilizations had profound insights into the workings of the natural world. He saw their myths and legends as repositories of valuable knowledge that could inspire and inform modern scientific exploration. His perspective challenges us to look beyond traditional interpretations of biblical narratives and to delve into the deeper meanings and symbolism they might contain. Jesus as an advanced scientist. Nikola Tesla's perspective on Jesus as an advanced scientist provides a fascinating way to explore the interplay between spirituality, faith, and scientific understanding. Tesla saw Jesus not merely as a religious figure, but as a pioneer who operated with an extraordinary grasp of natural laws. According to Tesla, the seemingly miraculous acts performed by Jesus were actually manifestations of a profound comprehension of the universe's fundamental principles. This view reflects Tesla's belief in the interconnectedness of science and spirituality. For Tesla, Jesus' ability to perform miracles wasn't about defying natural laws, but rather demonstrating a deeper mastery of them. He considered Jesus to be a kind of scientist who understood energy, vibration, and consciousness in ways that were far beyond the conventional knowledge of his time. To Tesla, these miracles were evidence of a scientific knowledge so advanced that it appeared supernatural to those who didn't understand the underlying principles. Tesla's interpretation of Jesus' miracles, such as healing the sick, is particularly intriguing. He didn't view these acts as supernatural interventions, but as applications of scientific principles related to energy and vibration. Tesla speculated that Jesus' understanding of resonance and the harmonics of the human body enabled him to facilitate healing processes that seemed miraculous to contemporary observers. In Tesla's view, what we might consider spiritual healing was deeply rooted in scientific understanding and practice. Tesla's perspective on Jesus' teachings also reveals a profound respect for their universal wisdom. He saw Jesus' emphasis on love, compassion, and forgiveness not just as moral guidance, but as reflections of universal principles that underpin all of existence. For Tesla, Jesus' teachings transcended religious dogma, pointing instead to a universal wisdom that resonated with the deeper truths of reality. He viewed Jesus' life and messages as a testament to the potential for human beings to attain a greater understanding of reality and embody divine qualities. In Tesla's eyes, the life of Jesus exemplified the integration of spirituality and science, showing that these seemingly disparate realms are in fact interconnected. The significance of numbers 3, 6, and 9. Nikola Tesla's famous assertion about the significance of the numbers 3, 6, and 9 highlights his unique approach to understanding the universe's interconnectedness of science and spirituality. To Tesla, these numbers were more than just figures. They were the keys to unlocking the universe's hidden secrets. His fascination with these numbers wasn't merely a numerical curiosity, but a profound insight into the underlying patterns and harmonics that govern reality. Tesla's interest in these numbers was deeply connected to his work on energy, vibration, and frequency. He believed that exploring the relationships between these numbers could reveal fundamental truths about the structure and behavior of the universe. This belief aligns with his broader perspective that everything in existence is interrelated and governed by harmonious principles. This idea isn't isolated to Tesla alone. Other visionaries, like actor and inventor Terrence Howard, have also explored the significance of these numbers, particularly in the context of magnetism and the periodic table. Howard, for instance, has delved into how these numbers relate to the periodic table's formation and the fundamental forces of magnetism, suggesting that understanding these numerical patterns can provide deeper insights into the natural world. Tesla's view that biblical stories contain metaphorical and scientific meanings also reflects his broader approach to knowledge. He encouraged looking beyond literal interpretations to uncover the deeper truths and principles embedded within ancient narratives. By interpreting biblical stories as scientific metaphors, Tesla underscored the timeless relevance of ancient wisdom and the potential for meaningful dialogue between spirituality and science. His perspective invites us to embrace a holistic understanding of reality that integrates both empirical observation and symbolic interpretation. Terrence Howard's ideas on magnetism and the nature of the universe offer a fresh perspective that challenges conventional thinking. According to Howard, magnetism doesn't just radiate outwards in a straightforward manner, it actually originates from a central point and then spreads outward. This flips our usual understanding of magnetic fields and how they interact. Howard's approach to the grand unified field theory is equally intriguing. He suggests that by arranging a set of fundamental elements in a particular way, we could predict a variety of relationships and uncover hidden patterns. This idea invites us to explore the potential patterns that could emerge and the secrets they might reveal about the universe. It's a thought-provoking concept that pushes us to rethink how we perceive and analyze fundamental forces. One of Howard's key points is about the nature of mathematics and how it's grounded in a two-dimensional projection. He argues that our mathematical models and theories are often based on flat, two-dimensional principles, even though the universe itself is inherently three-dimensional and dynamic. In fields like calculus, for instance, there's a tendency to reduce complex motions and interactions to linear equations, influenced by Newton's first law that states objects either remain in motion or stay still unless acted upon by an external force. However, Howard points out that this approach can be limiting because it overlooks the constant complex motion that defines our reality. He argues that to accurately represent and understand the universe, we need to account for all the dynamic forces at play rather than relying solely on flat, simplified models. In other words, while we know the universe is round and complex, our mathematical and theoretical frameworks are often constrained by flat, two-dimensional principles. So, what do you think about this? Let us know in the comments section. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more fascinating stories and facts, be sure to subscribe to our channel.